It's time for Whirlpool presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 timeout powered by Dell. We're looking ahead to an informed Kings 11 Punjab against the Rajasthan Royals, who also stamped their authority in their first game. Let's build up to that game with Sanjay, Manjrekar and Ian Bishop. Right, it's time for our 5-point preview, gentlemen. The first point is Steve Smith should continue to open the batting for RR, even though Josh Buttler is back. Sanjay.
Interesting, because I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference if you have Samson opening with Buttler and Steve Smith batting at number 3. But the way Buttler bats, I think Steve Smith at the opening position just allows him to get in slowly and be that kind of guy who plays through the innings, and Samson can come in and start blasting straight away. So, yeah, Steve Smith continues to open.
Bish, would you have Smith and Buttler open then?
I would, actually, because I think it's a good blend for the Rajasthan Royals, who I think will depend heavily on their overseas players this season to win a lot of games. So if you've got Smith taking up that typical role, this would be, I would agree with Sanjay, how I would do it. Smith would bat through as deep into the innings, not just taking it over, but playing as he sees and allow the other guys to fashion their innings from the other end.
Right, I'd be curious to see what you'll make of the opening bat, Yashasvi Jaiswal or Robin Uthappa. We'll come to that in a minute, but let's go to our next statement, and that is that Josh Buttler should come in for Tom Curran. Thoughts on that, Vish?
Yeah, well, I'm guessing he'll have to really, because you've got Archer, you've got Unadkat, and then you've got a few of those spinners in there. So I wouldn't want him to take David Miller, who's the vulnerable one, out of that equation, because as I talked about, that batting being carried by a lot of these overseas players, I think Miller can be as destructive if you take out and nip out one or two at the top early. Miller, at his best anyway, should be able to be a game changer.
Buttler for Curran ahead of Miller for you, Sanjay?
Yeah, normally you go for a like-for-like replacement. You replace a batsman with a batsman. Foreign player comes in, foreign batsman goes out. But yeah, Rajasthan Royals have a problem with their batting. And when you look at Riyan Parag and Uthappa coming in after that, you want to have Miller. In the last game, didn't get to bat. In fact, got run out, I think, without facing a ball. So he needs another opportunity. Tom Curran goes out.
Right, in which case, what about the balance of that Rajasthan team? Do they need to play an extra Indian seamer in the absence of Tom Curran? And who makes way? You've got too many openers in Yashasvi Jaiswal, Robin Uthappa and Riyan Parag as possible contenders. Sanjay?
I think they can have somebody like Varun Aaron coming in, because pace is working at the moment in UAE. So he can come in, and the dispensable, obviously, Indian places would be somebody like... maybe Yashasvi Jaiswal or Uthappa, but Varun Aaron as the Indian seamer might just bring another little dynamic for Rajasthan Royals.
Bish?
Yeah, Jaiswal looks the one that is possible for him there to miss out, because he comes out, you're strengthening that opening partnership. There are other vulnerable guys as well, but Tiwatia had a good bowling outing in that first game, so you'd give him another chance. Yeah. I like Riyan Parag. Let it not be said. I think this guy, from what I saw last season, he could be a good player.
Very well. Let's go to our next point. And speaking of the Kings 11 Punjab, they're on a high after that win against Bangalore. We're saying that Punjab should play Chris Gayle in Sharjah. Bish, all yours.
Because he doesn't have to run on that ground. Look, seriously though, it is going to be very, very important where you play Chris Gayle and some. If the grounds are bigger, it would mean that once he gets out of the power play, we need to see Chris Gayle mobile between the wickets. So for impact, Sharjah is a good place, but I do believe that Maxwell and Nicholas Pooran are coming under a little bit of pressure from a batting perspective. I don't know how close Chris is to playing, but he's not as far away as he was when they started the tournament.
So would you, if he is available and fit, Bish, would you bring him in or give Pooran and Maxwell one more hit?
No, I'd give them another game. Just to be absolutely fair, I'd give them another go just to get them settled in. Once you start chopping and changing too early in any team, it breeds insecurity.
Sanjay?
Yeah, because Kings 11 Punjab is not missing any firepower, Ronak. When you look at their batting lineup, you've got Rahul, you've got Maxwell, you've got Pooran, and you've got to as your long-term hopes.
Yeah.
So, give them a long run, let them continue, maybe a couple of failures more, but still, back then, Maxwell gives you a couple of overs as well. Gale can argue he can do that as well, but I think they've got enough striking force for Gale to come in. So Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul at the moment looks a pretty solid opening pair.
Yeah, both openers have got significant scores as openers in both games. So that's food for thought on whether Chris Gale comes in. Final point, Punjab should continue playing two leg spinners. This is appetizing. Sanjay?
See, the move worked. M. Ashwin got some wickets and Bishnoi cannot be dropped for a while. And who are the options? Maybe somebody like a Suchit could come in because they're worried about the size of the ground. But then you're looking at some left-handers in the opposition. There are two in the top 6. So left-arm spinners are a huge risk option. You've got to be a really seasoned left-arm spinner like an Akshar Patel or a Krunal Pandya. So I get the feeling with Kumble as the coach, if he has a choice between M. Ashwin and Suchit, guess where he's going?
All right. Tewatia and Gopal had an impact in that game against Chennai at Sharjah. Bish, would you stick with both leggies?
Yeah, I don't necessarily see any reason to have them come out now or change that up just yet. I know numbers tends to inform a lot of decisions, but I just thought those guys were so good that you take the chance. It's not even a chance, but you continue to give them a nice little run.
Ian Bishop, Sanjay Manjrekar, thank you very much. This was us looking ahead to the game between Kings 11 Punjab and Rajasthan Royals at Sharjah in the IPL on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Dell.